Hello and welcome back. My name is Austin Salas. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and I help men overcome porn addiction and any other sexual issue they may be experiencing in their lives. Today, I want to talk about something very, very important. You see, it is impossible to make any progress in our lives if we are addicted to porn, if we are still controlled by lust, by temptations, and our urges. Lust creates so much chaos in our lives and it begins to percolate into every single thing that we do. It is so tricky and cunning in the way that it shows up that we ultimately do so many things unconsciously, like resorting to porn, because what we are searching for is some form of comfort, relief, and escape. And we believe that the urges we give into can somehow provide this for us. Lust will quite literally blind us to the point where our desires control the way that we think and the way that we behave. It is very common for those who are very lustful to be great manipulators and liars, as we know the intention behind whatever they say or what they do is to satiate this desire. Unbeknownst to them, they themselves are being manipulated by temptation, thus, the irony of the situation where the one who tries to manipulate or control others does not realize that he himself is being manipulated and controlled. One of the things I mention often in my channel and in the work I do with men is the fact that everything nowadays has some form of sexual element to it. Whatever it may be, the shows that you watch, the commercials, the music, the advertisement, all contain some seductive or alluring component to it. It's become so nonchalant that we think it is normal. It's become a norm. The worst part about this is that the younger generations and our children get exposed to this kind of material. And so I always tell men to be very careful with the things that they watch, with the things that they listen to, with the things that they expose themselves to. Lust and temptation will hinder all of your progress, beginning with what I like to call psychological progress, which encompasses almost everything we're about to discuss. It is no secret that one of the keys to living a meaningful, purposeful, and enjoyable life begins in one's own mind. Our beliefs and our perspectives create our thoughts. These thoughts compel us to take action, and action creates results. So, if our mind is constantly being pulled in different directions, distracted by temptation, distracted by lust, one can hardly muster up the mental strength, the capacity to focus on creating the life that they want. And one wants to focus and get work done or create the project that one has in mind, but the second that he goes on social media, he sees a half naked person or he's listening to music and hears the message of overall lust and maybe sees a show or sees an advertisement, and before you know it, you're already on a porn site. So we can only hold a stream of thought for so long before it gets taken over by lust. And one of the themes that is congruent in a lot of the men that I work with is that they have this ambition to get things done. They want to begin moving the needle forward in their jobs, their careers, the projects that they have in mind, but they struggle to do so because the temptation of seeing naked women and the pleasure associated with it is simply too powerful for them not to give in. We may have an idea of what we want for our lives, but we just don't have the mental capacity to take that initiative. And I really want you to understand this idea. Every day we have available to us a limited amount of energy. But because lust not only happens in our mind through images and through thoughts, this manifests in the body through sensations and sexual urges. This takes up a great deal of our energy. And let's say you give into the urges and you masturbate. You just wasted a great chunk of this daily energy that you have available to you. And this doesn't just happen once. It'll be in the morning, it'll be in the afternoon, before you go to bed, sometimes even more. So if we really think about it, if we're always giving into lust and temptation, how much energy do we really have to set in motion the different things that will begin to change our circumstances, like creating more money or starting that project or finding a meaningful relationship or even getting healthy? Close to none. This is one of the things that makes it so difficult for us to begin doing the things necessary to create meaningful lives. So one is like a puppet on strings. We think that we have some sort of control because we can decide what videos to watch or how long we masturbate for, or we can even resist and prolong the feeling of lust. But the truth is, we don't have any control. It is simply an illusion. I recently had a client that told me he was struggling to overcome porn, and instead of resorting to that, he would instead go on dating apps, chat with people, and eventually hook up with them. And he mentioned to me how he thought he had control over lust because he wasn't deliberately watching porn, but he was still getting his fix through dating apps. So this is what I mean when I say that lust is very tricky, is so many ways that it can manifest in our lives, and the grips that it has on us are very, very tight. Another major theme that I see with the men that I work with and the men that I speak to is that they want to express and receive love, but they have a very hard time attracting the right kind of partner because they still exhibit these lustful patterns. It is very difficult to be in a healthy, loving relationship when you are still caught in lust and temptation. People don't understand that lust is like an itch that you just can't scratch. And the struggle against it wastes so much energy. The only way to overcome lust is by getting to the roots of the problem. There will never be a shortage of lust and temptation. So if we want to do something differently, we have to make the conscious decision to move in a different direction. And we start by realizing the suffering, the pain, the destruction that is causing in our lives. My suggestion is to work with somebody one on one or even in a group, whatever fits you best. The reality of it is that this issue is very difficult to overcome alone, and you definitely want support from, again, one on one or in a group, from people who have overcome this same exact issue. So thank you for watching. Like, share, and if you found something valuable in this video, please subscribe. Thank you.